What's going on, y'all? Today I wanted to make a video, a more in-depth video about the Trump shooting. Wanted to take a deep dive into a little bit of the details more, and I just wanted to talk about a couple things that have been happening that have been pretty funny. Again, I'm making this on my political channel because this is more of a political motivated topic. So let's dive in. So wrote down a couple notes and stuff that I wanted to talk about. Okay, first of all, they're talking about the shooter. First of all, we don't want to. I don't want to give the shooter no love on my channel. I don't want to publicize his face or anything like that. I will not, and I won't ever talk about any of these crazy shooters' names. But I thought it was pretty funny. They said his pronouns were, is, was, and were, because obviously you know what happens when you try to shoot at the president. You're gonna die. Also, in one of my other videos, I had mentioned that John F. Kennedy was the last shooting that happened to a president, and I believe it was actually Ronald Reagan. I could be wrong, but yeah. So I wanted to correct that fact. Also, they've been talking about the shooter was a Republican, but what people fail to realize, a lot of people who actually register as Republican, they only do that so that they can vote against the Republicans in the actual Republican nominees. And this guy was a registered Republican, but he donated to Biden, which, who the hell is donating to Biden? I mean, come on. Biden has had his funding restricted by his own party because they want him to drop out because he's clearly unfit. And they seen that during the debate. That's why I was so excited for the debate, for people to actually see how unfit he actually is to be president and to be, you know, my theory, theory time. My theory is that Joe Biden's going to pass away. Like, he is clearly his brain ain't there, like, and the next thing to go is his body, you know. And so I think Kamala's gonna be president for a little bit. Sorry. Sorry about that. I think Kamala's gonna be president for a little bit, right before Trump takes office. And the fact that they're trying to get rid of Trump, which is kind of crazy. Like, we'll talk about that, the philosophy behind that in a little bit. But the fact that they want to kill a political opponent just to win, or just because they disagree with his viewpoints, like that freedom of speech doesn't exist. I mean, they're comparing this guy to Hitler. Who has Trump killed? Hitler killed millions. Mao Zedong killed millions. Castro, millions. I mean, and to compare him to a mass murderer is wild to me. Like, they don't have the same policies at all. Like, Trump wants more freedom for the people. I mean, to compare him to Hitler is wild to me. Anyway, let's go. So silencing voices for free speech. So their idea behind trying to whack Trump was so that they could bring about democracy. Their idea behind trying to kill Trump is to try to create more freedom by silencing a voice. They want to create free speech. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see. Fair election by killing the opposite side frontrunner. Yeah. That sounds about right. Trying to kill your opponent in the election so that you can win. That sounds about right. That sounds about what was pretty much being, you know, leaned toward. Like, oh, I want my candidate to win so bad because he can win a fair election, but just in case, let me kill the person he's running against. Like, what? Yeah. That's how you know that they're scared that they're going to lose, because why else try to whack the opponent? Like, if I'm in a race with somebody and I know that I can beat them, why would I trip them? If I know that I can beat him fair and square. If I don't know that I can beat him fair and square and I'm afraid that he might win, then I might trip him up. You know, so it's that logic that these people are going by. Also, They're being brainwashed for sure. That's going to lead into my next point. People are being brainwashed, and they have been being brainwashed for probably their whole lives by the media. And I want to make a separate video about this. But if I was going to control the population, I would do it by using what they consume on a daily basis, the news, social medias, and any type of cellular interactions. And all of these are controlled by basically two big companies. I won't name who they are, but all the news companies work for basically one broadcasting service. So if you think they don't follow an agenda, you're wrong. Basically, all the news reports on the same things that happen in the same way, which is kind of wild when you really look into it. So that's how I would control the masses. I would do it by radio, by TV, and by social media. And they're all leaning towards the left. They're all leaning towards the same agenda. Let something happen to a black person by a white cop. It's covered by everybody. But let something happen to a black cop by a white person. Nobody gives a damn. Nobody cares. Nobody, or let it be black on black. It's just another shooting, or just another day in Chicago, just another robbery in California. But let it be white on white. Nobody gives a damn. But black on white, white on black, that's when everybody. It's always about race. Somehow, it's always about race. Always. I don't know how. I don't know why, but it always somehow goes back to race. So I think it's crazy. Everybody's saying that this guy was like a 20-year-old, not a good shot. I mean, and this is the problem that I see with the idea of a civil war happening. If it was right versus left, it wouldn't be a fair fight because literally one side has all the guns. I mean, statistically speaking, liberals and the leftists probably have guns, but I mean, if you have a gun but you're against guns, odds are you're not training with it. One side is definitely more armed than the other. One side actually knows how to use their guns more than the other. You think there are liberals and leftists in the army? Probably, but they're not the ones on the front lines. They're not the ones, who are coming back being police officers and firefighters. And these are the people that we need in our societies. I mean, how does the left think that the society is going to function without real tough and rumble men to do the jobs that nobody else wants to do? Like, yeah, civil war would not be fair if it happened in the U.S. I mean, I'm just going to make that very clear. It'd be a bloodbath. I mean, and civil war doesn't have no Geneva Convention. People keep thinking, oh, yeah, I'm ready for the civil war. No, you're not. It's going to be more political than anything. Like, I'm just going to go into work. Hey, man, didn't you say you voted for Biden? Yeah. Bang. Dead. It's just going to be that simple. It's not going to be, sorry about that. It's not going to be like, fighting in the streets or shooting from the rooftops. It may be at one point or eventually, but not everywhere, not all the time. I mean, it might be as simple as your cashier saying, hey, aren't you from North Dakota? Yeah, what part of North Dakota? Oh, I'm from Bow. Dead. And nobody can, you can't do nothing. Civil war is the bloodiest war that happens in any country. In the U.S., our bloodiest war was the Civil War because we killed ourselves. There was nobody, we weren't killing them. They weren't killing us. We were killing ourselves, literally. By the way, who do you think fought for slavery in the Civil War? And who fought against it? Well, I'll answer that. Republicans fought against it. Democrats were for it. Most, if not all, legislation brought up by Democrats was against civil rights in the civil rights era. Just think about that. The person who abolished slavery was a Republican, not a Democrat. Anyways, let's keep it moving. So yeah, the media is basically broadcasting it. I may or may not put the link to this article, but CNN basically said that Trump fell, and everybody's being dramatic. Like, let's just take a second here and think about this. I mean, we all know that CNN is lies. Like they're full of lies, and how are they trying to get the, like, this is why CNN Plus failed. This is why Don Lemon got fired. This is why they've had to retract over 20 of the articles that they put out about Trump, because they just lie. They just lie. And for this, it's nothing new. I think at this point they're just reaching for attention, trying to grab it and bring it in. But to say that an assassination attempt was him falling on stage, would he fall on stage and bust his ear? We seen it live. They have pictures of where you can see the bullet behind him whizzing by his head. And you heard the gunshots in the video. Like, there's and this is the thing about social media and just the media in general. It's like, I call it the Alicia Keys effect. So everybody remembers when the Super Bowl happened and Alicia Keys was singing and she missed that one note when she first started. Now, if you go back, and we all heard it for our own ears, right? Now, if you go back and listen, you won't hear it. You'll hear like an edited, perfected version of that note that she didn't quite hit. So they went back and rebroadcast this better version of her singing, just to basically edit history. Whoever controls the narrative controls history. So basically they're acting like it never happened. And if you didn't see it for yourself, like, let's say my kids grow up and they be like, "Ooh, I watched the Alicia Keys performance from way back when you was younger, and it was really good." And I'd be like, "Yeah, Alicia Keys missed that note." "No, she didn't." "Yeah, she did." "No, she didn't." What proof do I have other than my own memory and my recollection of what actually happened, when they can actually change the video and change the audio and make it seem like it never happened? Right? That's why I think that the internet is give and take, very important and not important at all at the same time. People register it like it's a real place, but it's not. The internet holds no weight really in real life unless it has to do with current events, in my opinion. But yeah, they're trying to make it like it never happened. I mean, there's so many videos of him, so many pictures of him out, and I'm wondering, are they going to try to like brush it under the rug like it never happened? I mean, in my opinion, there's no way he can't win now. Like, they tried to literally martyr him for a political party, for political ideas, for having different opinions than him. Also, who do you think hires the Secret Service? Right now, currently, it's the Democratic Party. They're the ones in charge of the presidential candidate's security detail. So, was it an inside job? I'm going to let y'all decide that. I don't know, so I can't really speak on it for sure. But I do know that the DNC is in charge of his security currently. That's why if I was him, I would have private security as well as security. Now, this is what's been explained to me, is that presidential candidates don't get full security, Secret Service detail. Only the president gets full Secret Service. Even former presidents only get partial Secret Service for life. I thought they get the full Secret Service for life. I learned something new. You always learn something new. And if I was Trump, I definitely would have, And they actually said that they tried to increase his security detail for the last couple months, and they've been getting denied. That's why I would have hired personal security just to coordinate with. There's no way. There's no way that this would have happened to me. There was only one sniper team from what I've seen. I would have had at least like a drone flying by, some type of eyes in the sky, something in coordination with probably a couple teams, like probably 2 sniper teams and then 1 on the ground. In addition to like a vehicle brigade. Like, I'd have vehicles on standby. Obviously, you have vehicles on standby, but I'd have, security is very important, especially when it comes to a presidential candidate and the front runner. Like, he's projected to win no matter what polls you look at. Biden's not up no more. Have you noticed when Biden isn't up or isn't close, they don't talk about the polls, but when he is, or when they project that he is, then that's when they start talking about the polls again. I haven't heard nothing about no polls other than the ones that I actually follow, like the channels that I watch about it, like if the election was held today, kind of, and they all talk about, yeah, Trump's gonna win no matter, like he's dominating in all these states. This is gonna put him over the top. Now, one thing I didn't put on my notes that I want to talk about is him raising his fist, and everybody's like, yeah, he did that to imitate Black Power. No, he's saying fight. He's saying fight, 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 fight. We have to fight the establishment that's trying to take him out. I think the reason why they're trying to take him out really is because Trump took away money from the rich and gave it to the poor. He's like Robin. He was really doing Robin Hood. He was fixing our economy. He was fixing our country. And he was really putting the people first. When I say the people, I mean all the people. He don't care about the rich. He was really caring about the poor and the middle class. If you notice, under Trump, the lines and the tax brackets for the rich were going down, which means that the middle class were going up and the poor were going up. Now with Biden, he's trying to basically reverse that. He's trying to tax the poor more to make them more poor, make the economy worse, so that the lines can go back up, so that the tax brackets can go back up, so that the rich will pay less and the poor will pay more. It's kind of crazy seeing it in real time, but I actually, I predicted this this shooting attempt would happen about 6 months ago, after watching Tucker Carlson and Alex Jones interview, and Alex Jones, he's crazy. I don't even know if I can say his name on YouTube, but Tucker Carlson basically said that, they're going to try to cancel him. That's not going to work. He's too rich. Then they're going to try to take away his money. If that doesn't work, they're going to try to lock him up. If that doesn't work, then there's only one thing left that they can do, that they can try. And they tried it. The cat's out of the bag. Like, I seen somebody, I forgot his name. I'm drawing a blank on his name. But he said that, conservatives, we were surprised, but this was kind of expected. We seen it coming from a mile away. I mean, we seen the writing on the wall. And I don't know why I seen this coming, because I was hoping that it was wrong. I think in my video I even said that I hope I'm wrong. But I said that they're going to try to kill him. They're really going to try to kill him. It's wild, but CNN saying that he fell off stage and that's why his wild. How does CNN even have viewers? This is why CNN is being murdered by people like Timcast and Steven Crowder. No matter if you say they're conservative, whatever, they actually report on the news and they tell the truth. I remember when the news used to be about the truth, but like Denzel said, it's about who can put out the story the fastest. And who can have the catchiest title or line, or who can draw in the most. Now they're drawing in viewers, but that's just because people were seeing they're not worth nothing. I mean, I think Timcast has he built his whole network on subscription service, and not TMZ. CNN can't even keep their CNN Plus going long enough to even compete with Timcast IRL. I mean, come on. There's a reason why he's successful and they're not. They're having to let people go all that. Like, I'm gonna make a separate video about brainwashed TikTokers. But people, they're really brainwashed enough that they want him dead just because they disagree with his political viewpoints. Like, let's look at this from a logical standpoint. Why would you want somebody dead? That holds president, or why would you want somebody dead in general? For revenge? You don't like them, like they just irritate your soul and they've done something to you, which goes back to the revenge. Or I don't know, maybe, I don't know, I can't really think of any good reasons to want somebody dead. But they're thinking, I disagree with you, so I have to silence your voice for democracy. I have to silence everything. I can't let you spread your lies, so you have to be silenced. So let me take you off of all social media platforms just so that you can be silenced. That really happened to Trump. They took him off of everything for no reason. They didn't have a legit reason. That's why Elon brought him back. He's like, why was he ever taken off? He never said anything like any really crazy. So why was he taken off of all social media? It's almost like they wanted to silence his voice so that nobody could hear his viewpoints. Because some people, more than likely, more people would actually agree with his viewpoints. And they can't have that. They can't have people agreeing with Trump. And if you agree with Trump, you're somehow racist or you're a bigot or whatever. But let's go to that. People really are brainwashed enough to think that somebody deserves to die for their viewpoints. Is is Trump responsible for killing anybody? Is Trump responsible for uh, kicking people out of their houses or making people homeless or destroying lives, destroying families? Trump didn't encourage those riots, not the J6. We're talking about the BLM riots, right? And that was billions of dollars worth of damage. I think it was like 10 officers were killed, way more injured. So when we're talking about, money and injuries and stuff, we really got to look into keep that in the back of our minds. Like who's really at fault here? All right. So let's talk about when Trump was in office. He got all these threats. Everybody saying F him, F him. I wish he was dead. Nobody got visits from the FBI. But if you say Biden's about to croak, you'll get a visit from the FBI. Let me talk about your Facebook posts. Why? Why? Because I have a different viewpoint than you? That's the difference between the right and the left. One side says you have to be silenced for your viewpoint. The other side says you can speak your mind even if I don't agree with it. I'll let you decide which is which. Was there any visits by any government agencies during, and the other thing that Biden's really been doing is weaponizing his agency. You got his whole agency going after his political opponent. But not only that, he's been weaponizing the ATF to go after law-abiding citizens like you and me. Why would he do this? Why does he want to disarm the people so much? Why would a dictator want to disarm the people? If you look back in history, the first thing that all people in history who were dictators, not saying that Joe's a dictator, but all dictators have done, the first thing they always did was disarm the people. Why would they disarm them? For control? Let's talk about gun control. They're going to try to say that it was an AR just so that they can try to push their agenda. We know this. It's predictable. I predicted it a mile away. We all know it wasn't an AR, but they're going to say it's either an assault weapon or a war-style weapon or something. They're going to use these flagrant terms that draw attention so that they can try to push their agenda, push their narrative. It's not going to work. We're not falling for it. We're not falling for it. But let me know what y'all think about this shooting attempt at our former president. 4-5 and 4-7. It was funny that 50 Cent came out. He was blasting Many Men and he had Trump on the on this thing. It'd be funny if Trump came out wearing a bulletproof Many Men. Many, 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 many men wish that for me. Yeah, I don't cry no more. Don't look to the sky no more. Have mercy on. Anyways, let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff. Stay tuned for more. We got more coming. Also, somebody go check on Plies, man. He been doing a lot of Trump slander lately for no apparent reason. I mean, he's entitled to his own opinion, but somebody go check on him, man. Make sure he alright. All right, y'all. Peace.